me stay and take a look at that.
But it's my birthday. Everybody else is leaving. Why do I have to stay?
Happy birthday.
I wanted Max to be a person who just walks in broad daylight, but he's in the shadows. Max is ready to somehow lash out, but he doesn't know how to.
He's one of these guys that has a lot to give. You want to kind of look at him as an underdog. But he has one role model, and it's Spider-Man.
Heads up, watch out! Woo! You okay?
You alright?
You're
Spider-Man.
okay. Yeah, costume gives it away, huh?
Then, through an incredible series of events, something terrible happens to him.
So in his transformation into Electro, that's where things go awry.
I'm gonna kill the light. But he's terrifying in the scope of his power.
So I'm really gonna be a formidable opponent.
In this movie, Peter has to confront not only all these massive obstacles and villains, but also an emotional conflict and struggle that will change him forever.
And it is a breathtaking story, and it forces Peter to dig so deep into what it means to be Spider-Man.
You Mark? You ready to go?
And action!
Hey, what are you doing?
Doing my laundry.
No, last time you did it, you turned everything blue and red.
What? Laundry, Sheriff?
We're working with the best actors in the world: Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Jamie Foxx, Dane DeHaan, Sally Field, Paul Giamatti, Chris Cooper, because the material is human enough that they can really sink their teeth into it.
This story is exciting and fun.
I gotta go.
I'm coming with you.
Come on, it's too dangerous. Sorry, I love you. Don't hate me.
Devastating. I don't know, maybe we're on different paths right now.
It's countless what this stuff I can list off about and how lucky I am to play this part.
Andrew Garfield, who plays Peter Parker, of course, is first and foremost a fan. He's so protective of that character because he's thought about it and cared about it since he was a child.
Just putting on the suit, it's everything that I ever dreamed of as a kid. And it's just great fun.
We also have Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone, who's one of the most talented people in the world.
It was exciting to come back to Gwen because the stuff that Gwen is thinking about are things that I've been thinking about in my life in different ways. So it was really exciting.
Gwen Stacy.
Oh my God. Sorry. Oh, that's okay.
I'm Harry.
When we were casting the role of Harry, we saw the screen test with him, and we were all, to a person, just mesmerized. And we thought, that's Harry Osborn.
It was always important to me that I wasn't the Harry Osborn of 50 years ago. It's been 10 years. What have you been up to? I do some web design. This is a kid that inherits the biggest trust fund in America, and he's not necessarily responsible with it, and that's what I wanted Harry to be.
Harry.
It's Mr. Osborn. We're not friends.
And then you have Jamie Foxx, Academy Award winner, and he says this movie is like a dream for him. Jamie built that character. I mean, the comb over, the glasses, the gap in his teeth. Like, he came out one day with this costume, and it was just like, there was Max Dillon.
And then once I got into that Electro makeup, even my voice changed. It was more, remember me. Because his vocal cords had been burned. And so now you have this sort of canvas for the CGI guys to work on. And then when you see what it really is, it's like a thunderstorm going on inside Electro.
But because we used his actual expressions, all the CG was there to reinforce what he actually did on the stage on the day as an actor. And then we have Aunt May, which is Sally Field, is iconic on her own. We even meet Norman Osborn, played by Chris Cooper, and Paul Giamatti, of course, playing Alexei Sestevich. I mean, look at this cast, and it's the best and the brightest. It's a pleasure.
Nice arms. It's just the wrist. Just on the wrist, buddy. How about that Spider-Man? Wouldn't you save a dozen lives? We want to hear your calls. I think without Spider-Man, there'd be no hope for this city.
There's a lot of things that the director has to deal with. What do you want your shot to look like? Pacing.
And Mark is really clear about the movie that he sees, and then incredibly generous with the actors about how to get there. Mark never loses sight of what's happening emotionally for the characters in the movie, even in the most crushingly enormous action sequence. And I think that gives these movies a whole other layer.
He wanted to make a high-energy action film that is wall-to-wall character.
Mark is very, very generous, and he's a really creative, exciting director to work with.
I'll be honest with you, with all he has to do, this is a big movie, but the ease that he has is like no other director that I've seen.
Mark wanted a designed movie. He wanted to work with filmmakers who collaborated so that we were working together, and therefore that when the shots happened, there was a visual organization. And that dynamic is what I hope pushes the emotional boundaries of this storytelling.
You gotta admit though, things have gotten crazy around here, man. Giant lizards, spider guys.
When you're making a Spider-Man movie, one of the most important costume design decisions that you make is redesigning the Spider-Man suit.
In this movie, we had an opportunity to go in and make a new costume. And it's amazing.
It's just more friendly. It's a warmer suit. It's just closer to the Spider-Man I think we all know and love. So you can see here bigger eyes, a darker blue in the suit, and we wanted to do something a little bit more traditional.
The eyes in this particular suit were a huge focus. We went really back to source material for that, and the shape of them is very, very iconic. The other thing that was really important was to get the particular colors of red and blue. Those colors change depending on if you're in sunlight or in shade or inside. So we had to really test a lot of different colors. So it's a very mathematical suit when you get down to it, because also the web is graphic, and the graphic of the web is completely precise all over the costume.
I love the new style. There were some really good modifications for me that the costume designer Deb Scott did for the comfort of it.
You want to make it as comfortable as it can be, but also you want to align it with real life. So it sort of alludes to his complex character. Hopefully the design of this suit reflects that. Nice outfit.
The great costume designers use the costume to be part of the story.
And Deb just brought that kind of real authenticity to all of the characters.
With Gwen Stacy, there was a lot about what she was going to wear that is definitely based on the sort of history of her character in the past films. But you do see a lot of transition from one film to the next. Returning to Gwen, it's really great, it's really nice. I wear jeans for the first time. I don't know if you noticed in the first movie, I never wore pants. So that's very exciting. She's a little bit older, she's in college, she's wiser, and she's kind of grown up in this film. I'm really excited. I think we just tried to come up with a stylish, contemporary, up-to-date look that also is something that Gwen Stacy would wear. Like when she's in Oscorp, and I wanted to place her in that environment with a little splash of color, because you always want to know where Gwen Stacy is. Deborah's fantastic, and she just has such a great eye and such great taste. I love the look of Gwen. I hope to steal it for my own life. In this movie, with the costumes, I wanted to tell a story about people, and I think we've done a good job of that.
We have the most amazing stunt team. What they had to deliver in New York City, it was amazing.
We wanted every action sequence to feel visceral, like there was real danger. So it required doing very, very dangerous stunts. And we have this opening massive car chase.
It's very, very big and real, resorts to very little CG, so it starts the movie off with a bang. The trick is there is no trick. What you're seeing is a 50 mile an hour, 100,000 pound truck driving over a police car as it's going along.
I thought a lot more of it was going to be green screened. Andrew was actually on the front of the truck a lot of the time, hanging off the side, which was really cool. Andrew likes to push boundaries.
I love being physical, and it's important for me to do that creatively. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's just a really great gift of playing this part.
Andrew is very heavily involved in the stunts. He's walking up the walls and over the ceiling and high up on a real building. You need a very physical actor that can do it. We even had a combination of Andrew and a stunt double that copied a move, footstep for footstep, from Buster Keaton, where he grabs a moving car.
I wanted to work with Hans Zimmer because he can bring in a lot of different voices. I wanted a big sonic landscape, and I wanted it to feel contemporary.
One of the things I love about this character and the way Mark shot this movie he is making, you get the sense of reckless freedom. So the music needs to be a lot of fun and appropriate to this character. What hopefully will make it different is this band I put together. It's Donny Mann, Pharrell, and Arturo and Mike Einziger. You know, I didn't pick them because they're famous. I picked them because they're really good. And because they're really good, they're very collaborative.
The real definition of collaboration should be learning experience. And that's definitely what it is with Hans. You get to learn.
Everybody's doing it because they love this character.
When the movie was coming together, Hans and I got together, and I think he registered a sort of level of excitement from me, because as a kid, that was my favourite superhero, bar none, really. There's a sort of mischievous quality, I think, to Spider-Man, and a sort of hyperactivity that appealed to me as a kid and still appeals to me now.
Why we don't do the whole thing? Okay, fine.
Part of the reason I picked all these people is they understand storytelling. So the storytelling aspect and the aspect of being able to know what a movie is really important. And this bunch, I mean, you try to hold them back.
It's an embarrassment of riches to have this type of movie, this type of actors, and then to have Hans, Pharrell, and Mike and those guys putting music together. So I can't wait to see that thing all the way cooked up.
Mark Friedberg, our production designer, is a really fantastic talent.
And he is very creative. His sense of style was amazing. And you put it all together and you say, you know what? It will be a fresh outlook.
As a designer, I like to divide the world into the realms. There's the tech part of the story, so we are inventing new technology. And sometimes something that happens in science fiction in general is that the literary pre-visualizes what will actually happen. So we were trying to play along with that idea in these giant glass desks, which are all activated as monitors.
Everyone in the city is gonna know how it feels to live in my world. A world without Spider-Man.
And then there was architecture. So we had to design Oscorp, what should be a $500 million building.
There's this sense in the Spider-Man movies that all bad things begin in Oscorp.
And I was interested in not having the evil empire just be evil, but having Oscorp be something that people aspire to, have it be aesthetically interesting. The biggest, most forward-thinking company in the world that is seemingly on the cutting edge of science. So we had to try and make good architecture. And then there's the fact that Spider-Man is set in New York as a character for the last 50 years. Spider-Man's from New York.
The idea of being able to shoot this production all in New York is really appealing. But the big major set piece is Times Square. We're shooting first day in Times Square proper.
We are in Times Square, and to be out here, it's awesome. It just gives it that, that authenticity, and we wanted that.
But we're building a huge section of the northern part of Times Square, so we can have as much control over it as possible.
Once the sequence starts, it's about all these things being thrown around. So it became obvious that had to be a built set. What was less obvious was how much of it had to be built.
And Times Square is actually lit by the billboards. You don't need other lights there because there's so much light. We wanted to capture that. It has to look and feel exactly like Times Square. It was one of the first things that Mark designed, and it turned out incredibly well. You will believe that everything is happening in Times Square.
I get so much anger.
Stay with me, Max.
You lied to me.
No, I'm trying to help you. Let me help you.